Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm Morali, and let's start by talking about some stuff as always, because I love the sound of my own voice. I love just hearing myself talk. It's great. No, but seriously. So obviously, as you can hear, my voice is still not 100%. It's getting better every day, but I'm still coughing a lot. I feel much better than yesterday. But I do have a toothache today, so that's like a different pain. I don't know, it's always something. I'm never like that. Like I will tell you guys, as soon as I turned 30, which only happened, I will say a couple months ago, but as soon as I turned 30, it was just like I'm an old decrepit man and everything hurts all the time now. It's just like why? Um, Anywho, so we're doing the challenge run. Okay, I don't know. We're doing the challenge run, which is super fun. I don't have a blue screen, as you guys can see. I just looked at the camera. So what happened with that? Um, as you guys know, recently I switched from green screen to a blue screen because of my eye color. I have green eyes, and I had voids for eyes for like certain videos and stuff. So I didn't want to do that anymore. So I got a blue screen, and then the stand that I had for that today decided to one of the screws that tightens it is worn out. It's worn out. Like it's literally rubbed off to the point where it's like almost smooth and it won't actually tighten anymore. So now I have to get a new one of those, which God knows when that's gonna happen. I don't know. But we're here. And we're gonna have a good time. Obviously I didn't wanna not do my streams. You guys know I don't want to not keep up with my schedule. The goal is to grow the channel. The goal is to grow in general, for the streams and for the videos and all that stuff. So I'm gonna keep going, even if I'm gonna be coughing up a storm and just I don't know, whatever, right? Who cares? Let's sell all of this. I don't care. I don't want any of that. Bye. I've been playing a lot of World vs. World. I'm really excited to be doing World vs. World streams. That's gonna happen at some point. 100%. I want to do that. There's no way that I don't want to do that. Um, Turn up the sound for you guys a little bit. The in-game sound. Yeah, so I'm gonna be sucking on these still. Been living on those, like I said yesterday. It's getting better, but it's still not quite there. Um, there's something else. Oh, I totally forgot. A happy Pride Month, I guess.
We're surrounded by
I don't ever really celebrate or do anything with that, but there you go. So, okay, here we are. So we are doing Caledon Forest. Okay. I did this one last time, and then I like jetted up here because I was like, I want to get that, but I gotta come back down for this. So let's go back down there. Let's do that. Yay! So I guess I'm not the only one that's doing this challenge run, which kind of sucks because I don't want to do what everyone else is doing, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have a good time. I'm sorry about yesterday, by the way. My internet went out. I have no idea when it came back on, and I hope that it doesn't happen again. It's been happening a lot, and it's been happening. I'm not like into like conspiracy theories, or any type of stuff like that. But there's a certain time and like a point in time where I'm like something happens often enough that I start getting suspicious of like what's happening. Like it's so weird. I've been with Spectrum for a few years now, and they've been pretty good over the years. But like I want to say once every few months, they get a period of time where like specifically late at night, all of a sudden the internet will go out, and they'll do that for like a few weeks, like every so often it'll go out, or like even a period of months maybe it'll be where like the internet will just go out for like an hour or two and then come back on, and they're always like it's an outage and it's an outage, and then they like don't have a problem for like a whole year, and then it'll happen again, and it's just like Do you guys do that to like save money in the summertime or something? Where you like, oh, we shut it off for like 2 minutes, which saves us a lot of like something. I don't know. I don't know. I get like really weird about that. I just feel like it's really strange. Um, you know, I don't know, but it's just one of those things that I noticed. Where I'm just like, okay, that's weird, right? So, hi Emily, welcome. How are you? But yeah, I'm sorry. So it looks to me that if you guys are watching the stream from yesterday, the better place to do that right now is Twitch. I watched both streams back, specifically the end of that stream, and it actually looks a lot better and it works a lot better on Twitch than it does on YouTube. On YouTube, it's really weird because it has like some weird loading issues at the end where like it will buffer the video for whatever reason. And then all of a sudden the audio and the video will be like not synced anymore. So like you'll hear me talk, but I'm not actually saying anything. And then I stop talking and my mouth will start moving. It's really weird. And it's like completely like it's off. And then the video just ends. On Twitch, it's a lot better. Like it actually like goes really smooth right up until like it cuts off at like one point. It's just done at one point. I think they both stop at the same time, but kind of sucks because that last game was actually really interesting. Because it was like Kirby and I were the last two standing in that battle. Or Waddle Dee. I think it was Kirby or Waddle Dee who was, because there's 3 Adelines. I remember that. I was Adeline and there was like 2 other ones. And then there was like 1 Waddle Dee or Kirby, one of the 2. And it got to the point, I think it was Kirby. And Kirby and I were like the last 2 fighters. And we both dropped each other at the, and you guys didn't actually see it yesterday, but the arena gets smaller. The outside rings start disappearing, they start dropping, and then they're gone forever. So the arena starts getting smaller and smaller. And I ended up dropping Kirby at the same time as I fell off with the outside edge, I want to say is what happened. Or he might have fallen with the outside edge as well, because I got distracted because of the stream. I kept on looking over at Streamlabs and seeing like what's going on with it. And yeah, and so it's just like I didn't realize, and then we both dropped and I heard like a little twinkle. I think it was from my side because I ended up dropping later or something, and I think that was like the indicator that I had won the match, because I heard like a little twinkle and there was like a little star. I don't know if that like always happens on like the last person that drops or something. I'm not sure, but I just heard a little twinkle and I looked over and I was like, oh crap, we both fell. And then the result screen came up and I was first place and I was like, ah, damn. And then like the screen the stream wasn't coming back, so I was just like, I guess whatever, I guess no one's gonna see that now. But yeah, it was pretty funny. So maybe I'll go back to that game at some point. Specifically like that game, and play a couple rounds with you guys if you guys are interested in seeing that whole thing play out. I kind of wanted to see, like, I obviously I turned it off right off the bat because I was like, great, the internet is out. And I was like, at first I thought it was like my personal internet, but I've gotten smarter about that, because you guys know that in the past I've had issues with my internet. So what I have now is I downloaded the app for Spectrum. Yeah, just like at the end, you know, to kind of like finish off a stream or something, play a couple of rounds of that. Like, I would totally be down for that.
The Nightmare Court has taken some of our own.
But yeah, so I got smarter. So I got the Spectrum app, and I have like because I have like a fingerprint thing on my phone or whatever, so I can log in like without having to think of my password or any of that stuff. Like, you guys have experienced that, where I'm like, I don't know my password, I gotta log in, blah blah whatever, right? I don't have to do that anymore, so I can just like literally go on there, and if it's an outage, it'll immediately tell me if it's an outage, because it says it right there on the app. So that way, if it's an outage, I know that I'm probably not going to come back for the stream unless it's like a really quick outage, which, you know, if it's an outage, it's usually something more severe that takes a couple hours, so I probably won't be back. But if it's something that like I know is locally, like right here in my house, that I need to fix or something, then I can come back for the streams, right? So I have more certainty of like whether I'm going to come back or not. So I'm trying to make the experience better for everyone. For you guys, for me, because, you know, the internet goes out sometimes, but it sucks because I had like 7 people watching, and I don't know if it counts people that are like lurking in the background, because I think if someone doesn't say anything for a long time, or they're not like actively on their phone or something, I'm pretty sure it takes that viewer away from my view count that I see anyways. So it's like, because I see those numbers drop, so I don't know. But I was just like, I had like 7 people, and I was like, oh man, that's like a lot. For me, that's a lot. So I was just like, man, of course, when I have like 7 people watching is when when the internet goes out, you know, so. But yeah, as you guys can hear, my voice is still like all over the place. And I woke up with a really bad toothache, which I've been dealing with like all day long. And I'm like, ugh, toothaches are the worst. I'm telling you, I knew it from the beginning, from the time I was 29. For a whole year, I knew that as soon as I turn 30, it'll all be over. So I feel like everything hurts all the time. And I'm like, I don't like this getting old thing. I don't want to get old. Getting old things suck. And I'm not old, like I'm only 30, but I feel it already like creeping up on me. I'm not okay with it. I'm not ready, okay? I'm not ready to be in pain for the next 50 years of my life. Does it sound better? I don't know. It sounds, it's more consistent on the way that it's doing. Like yesterday it was just like up and down kind of thing. Today it's more like one level of badness. But I feel like it doesn't sound as good as yesterday. I don't know though. Again, I can only hear, like, I don't know, I can't hear myself, so I could have done a recording before I started. But I can feel it getting better because my throat isn't as bad. I woke up with the toothache and a really bad cough. Okay, that was the 2 things that I was like, oh my god, this is like really bad. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I've been trying to deal with that all day, and it's fine. You know, it'll go away. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll feel better. It'll go away eventually, right? What's the worst that can happen? No. But yeah, I didn't want to skip my streams. I'm done with doing that. You know, I used to do that when I first started streaming. I would always complain that my streams weren't growing. But then, like, looking back at the first like 2 years that I did this, I was so inconsistent on my schedule. You know, I had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that I was streaming, but then there was like so many times where I'm like, yeah, I'm not streaming today, I don't feel like it, or I'm only streaming for like an hour, or like I would go live really late, like much later than I was supposed to, you know, like things like that. It's like I gotta be consistent, otherwise people are not gonna come back. I'm trying to learn from other people too, but I'm like, I'm not saying that I'm really good at what I'm doing, but I'm just like, I'm not really learning anything by watching those other people, because I'm like, I kind of do all the stuff they do, right? I mean, obviously I don't have any tits to show. I can't be like that girl in the bathtub or whatever. Is that what I'm missing? Do I need to get up and drag and do this? I would not be a pretty drag queen. I can tell you that right now. I do not look pretty as a woman. But it is Pride Month. I've never dressed up in drag. I'm gonna be honest. Not even like really as a kid. Like there was never ever a time, not that I remember anyways, where I like put, you know, where I had like my sister put makeup on me or whatever and I dressed up in like girl clothes or something like that. Like I feel like I never had that. It's like I feel like some kids have that experience. I just don't think I ever have that. And then hopefully, I don't know, if I feel better tomorrow, I will record more episodes of Crusader of Senti. I really like. I wanted to do some today, but I'm like, I can't. It's like I'm coughing way too much, and my voice is like still off. And you know, I have a camera, so I feel like communicating stuff like that to you guys is much easier than like when I don't use a camera. But I don't want to use a camera for my playthroughs. I did research before I started doing playthroughs. And as far as I can tell from the consensus of there was a lot of like Twitch, or not Twitch, Steam posts and stuff where people were asking about like camera versus no camera on streams and videos and playthroughs and stuff like that. And the consensus, as far as I could tell by most of the answers that I read through, it was a couple hours that I like kind of looked through that stuff, is that if you don't need an immediate like streaming with a camera is better than videos with a camera, because videos with a camera don't really do that much for you, because it's like you use the camera to have like reactions and be funny and do like, yeah, whatever, right? Like stuff like that. And that can prompt reactions in chat when you do things like that. Where like when you do it with a video, that doesn't really work as well. So most people that are like, that talked about like specifically playthroughs was like, you know, playthroughs of games, like this was before I started my first one, Digimon World 2003, because I was considering doing a camera, or you know, doing a camera or not doing a camera. But most people were like, no, if I'm watching like a playthrough of a game, like I don't really need to have a camera, because there's really like, I can see what's going on in the game, and I'm like, you know, if I'm watching specifically a playthrough, like I'm watching, you know, maybe I'm watching for the person that's playing, but I'm also specifically watching for the game. So you might, you know, when you have a camera on screen, that might actually block some of the game and stuff like that. Where like streaming is more to like really interact with the person that's streaming and stuff like that. So it kind of made sense to me in that way. So that's why I never used the camera. And it's also, for me personally, it really helps because when I when I do my videos, like I do it at random times. Like I might get out of bed on like my day off, and just like without, you know, like I brush my teeth and like I don't even like do any, like maybe I'll eat something and I'll just sit down and just record, right? So I look like shit. I look like you get to, oh no, I'm dead. Shit. Couldn't do it, guys. I don't know. All right, let's try that again. I'm gonna try to use my other abilities as well. But yeah, so it allows me to record them whenever, right? If I look like shit, if I haven't showered like that day, I get to just like whatever. I can just record. It doesn't matter. You know, I can do it at any time of day. I don't have to get ready. I don't have to set up camera. Like earlier, for example, I don't have a blue screen right now. So guess what I did? I had to get all the stuff. There was so much crap, guys. I just got a new printer. So there was like a box sitting behind me, like from the printer. It was from yesterday. I haven't cleaned it up yet. And it was kind of sitting there. There was stuff that I brought up from downstairs that was sitting there. I had a bunch of stuff on the table. You guys can't see the table because I'm sitting right where the table is. But I had a bunch of stuff on the table and stuff, and I'm like, great, I don't have a blue screen, so I gotta clean all the stuff up, right? So I'm like, I kind of, I don't know. When you have that, it's just kind of. No, no, this is bad. This is really, really bad. I'm trying to confuse him by just circling around him. Oh my god, I can't see because of the grass and stuff. Oh, he made me bleed. That's not good. Knock him down. Oh. Don't run so far away. You're gonna... I gotta use all my lives. This is horrible. But I gotta do this. Come on. Almost. Almost. Oh, we got it. That was annoying. Alright. Alright, let's do stuff in the water. But yeah. I hope you guys are having a good day. I laid in bed most of the day. I did some World vs. World. Oh, for those of you that are on Twitch, by the way, I got new panels. I made new panels. I don't know, I kind of talked about that the other day. But yeah, I made some new panels. They're smaller, there's less of them. The old ones were from like 3 years ago, and they were kind of like outdated. There's a lot of, I don't know, there was a lot of like superfluous stuff on there. I'm like, no one cares. Let's not put that there. So I tried to be like very concise, just put a few things there. Made it look a little bit more colorful, not as dreary and dark as it was before. And yeah, so those are there, but that's not what I worked on today. Did I work on anything today? Did I do anything interesting? I don't think so. I did World vs. World today, which is really interesting. I kind of want to do World vs. World tomorrow to kind of just show you guys how it's really interesting, because people, you know, the big thing is about Maguma. Maguma is the one, like, the one salty server, right, that goes after all the people, and they're just like, oops, oopsie, didn't mean to do that. They go after all the people, right? So as you guys can see, this is like a very close match. This was earlier today. This was at like, it was like 1,100, 1,113, 1,121 or something. That's how close the score was. And it was like evenly divided. Maguma is kicking everyone's ass, and they're like the one server that's just like, they're like the World vs. World server. Okay, they have all the, I think when all of the, as far as I understand, when all the people from, there was a big, for those of you that don't know, there was a big like exodus of guilds and commanders, like, this is a long time ago now, but like years ago on Blackgate, there was a lot of people, like, Blackgate used to be the #1 server, and we were #1 all the time. But then there was some kind of like weird drama that all these commanders had. It was really weird. It was like, it was in the transitional period of like when Discord first became like big. It was like when, because at that point people had still been using like TeamSpeak and stuff, but then like we started switching over to like Discord, like most people, right? Like Discord servers became more common and stuff. And it was really weird because literally, like, there was all this drama going on, and there was this huge exodus of all these, like, guilds and all these commanders from Blackgate, and they all left. They all didn't want to be on there because of, like, drama, right? And it was so weird because it was like, you're all going to pay $10 to move to a different server? Like, why? That's so weird, right? Anyways, so since then, Blackgate has never really been top server, but I think a lot of those people went to Maguma. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Such a good song too. My favorite in Ruby. Ooh, that's really tough because I have, out of the 4 of them, 100% Wise. Out of the 4, but in the entire universe, I don't know, there's so many characters that I really like, I have a lot of love for. Like, I love Cinder, for example. Like, there's a lot of like stuff I know with Cinder. I really enjoy Cinder as a character. And I think there's gonna be like a lot of growth that's gonna come from her, where she's maybe gonna have a redemption thing. So I really like her. I also like Penny, but I don't know what's going on with her after the last season, so I'm like, I don't know if that's like off the table now at this point. I really loved her. Sorry, I didn't even see your messages, so I just, because I was like, me talking about Maguma. But yeah, welcome, by the way, Spectres. Oh, Nora. Nora's awesome too. I love Nora.
Thank you for helping.
Yeah, Nora's cool too. Yeah. Thor, right? I love it. Oh, we already finished this art. I don't know why I keep doing this. I got a high-leg armor. High-leg armor looks like a chest, doesn't it? It looks like a chest you can open. Here, have this armor. Okay, goodbye. Um, anyways, let me just finish the rant about Maguma real quick. So yeah, so I think a lot of those guilds went to Maguma because Maguma is now the server that kicks everyone's ass, and they're very like, they're like spawn killing and stuff. Like they will wait around your keep and around your spawn point just to kill off like one person, and they will have like 30 people would chase one person down just to get that kill. Like they don't care, and they will go halfway across the map after you just to get that one kill. Like they don't care. They don't care. And they don't care about their objectives getting taken either. It's literally like they just care about killing people in World vs. World. So it's a really weird dynamic because they also split off into smaller groups a lot. They have a lot of like Havoc squads that go on in Maguma, and Blackgate is all about zerging. Like they don't think, like people in Blackgate, I notice it all the time where they're like, there's like, what was it today? They were all walking past a camp that we could have easily taken just to get to the commander who was like half the map away. And I'm like, can't we take this camp real quick? Why are we not taking this camp? Because they're all like zerging. They got to get to the commander and that's all they care about. And I'm like, that's why Blackgate is losing, because all we're doing is zerging. And we're not thinking about Havoc squads and like splitting up. And while we're occupying the big forces over here, maybe getting a camp and a tower on the other side. You know, that's I feel like a lot more that we need to do. So, the chaotic personality. But anyways, that's the end of my rant. So that's what happened today in World vs. World. As the DLC that kicked everyone's ass? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, it's like the server Maguma is like is a menace. And oh, 666, look at that. Tuned in right at the right time. But no, so I'm probably gonna do some World vs. World tomorrow just to show you guys how it is to be, because I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends and stuff, they're not in very big populated servers. They're like in the like lower ranks or whatever. A lot of them are not in tier 1 for World vs. World and stuff. So I want to show you guys like some of the tier 1 stuff that's been going on. And it's crazy because I sometimes just stand there and people will like bicker about the stupidest shit. Like last week, people were trying to throw the match because they did not want to be in tier 1 because they didn't want to be matched up with Maguma. So they were actively trying to throw the match. They said, "Why are you guys winning?" And everyone else is like, "We're just playing the game." And they're like, "But you're sabotaging everyone else because next week we're not going to be able to play the game because Maguma keeps on farming us. They hate Blackgate." And I'm like, this is so weird. What is this dynamic? I literally was like, I cannot wait for the Alliance update because it's such a weird dynamic to have this, where like the one server is just grieving the other server because for no reason. Like, what is that? That's so weird. And it's like, and they will team up. Like, it's literally like blue and green will team up against us. It's happened so much. Like, I literally went in a couple days ago and it was in the map. Like, if you look at the map, if you look at like, I can't look at the map right now, but if you look at the map, it was like, it was Eternal Battlegrounds, and it was our keep, and around our keep on the one side was the green Zerg, and on the other side was the blue Zerg, and they're both attacking us, and then they were attacking each other on our ground. And I'm like, why are you all here? Why isn't blue being smart and like, while we're occupying them, they could be going behind green's back and getting all of green's shit? But no, they wanted to get our shit that they would lose immediately because there was green right there. It was so weird. I was like, I don't understand this. So how is it? So how, because I've always been in Blackgate, which has always been like a hugely populated World vs. World. I want to point this out, guys. I don't know if you see a lot of these. There's like puddles of water here. I think there's some like at the top here that I saw as well. I don't see those a lot. Puddles of water and have like water effect and stuff. I think that's a really cool detail. It's like that, remember the other day where, right here, see the puddles? You can see the reflection of the sky in there. It's really cool. I really love the little details on that, but I don't think they have that too often, do they? Do they do puddles a lot on this ground, on this particular? Maybe I need to pay attention more. But I always realize that when I come to this outpost, because I'm always like, oh, there's water here.
My brother would love that.
He enjoys crumbling architecture.
Yeah, not a lot of games do that. There was if you go to Cantha, specifically Xingji, and we did it the other day, right here where, you know, this is where the Aether Blade stuff is, and there's the staircase that, you know, this is probably everywhere, probably everywhere in Cantha, but specifically over here I noticed it. There's the, like, mosaic tiles. They're reflective. They have, like, a little shimmer to them. And I'm like, that's such a weird detail, but it's so cool. Because the actual ground, the stone ground around the mosaic is, like, normal. It's ground. It doesn't reflect. But it's just the little pieces of mosaic that are, like, reflective. I was like, that's such a cool detail. What the hell? That's so awesome. So... yeah, so I don't know. It's all about, you know, and I talked about this in my animals. I heard a weird sound. That was weird. I don't know what that was. I talked about this in my animal facts video recently, but you know, in Guild Wars 2, it's all about, like, you know, new people start that game, new people start the game, and they get immediately like, oh, go get your first mount, get your raptor, it'll make everything easier. But I'm like, I hate from the bottom of my heart, I hate that we're suggesting that. And I hate that that's, because I know that that's the mindset of other MMO players coming into this game, that you gotta have mounts, and mounts are cool. I totally get that. But with having raptors, and with having mounts, and with how quickly they are in Guild Wars 2, and how much they give you, like, freedom of mobility, you miss all these really, really cool details. Like, there's so many details you just miss out on, you know? You okay? Oh, me? Am I okay? What are you talking about? You were whispering? No, it was like a knocking sound. I didn't hear someone talk or anything. I heard a knocking sound. And it sounded from the wall that's straight ahead of me, which is weird because that's an empty room. There's no one. I live by myself. There's no one in that room. So it sounded like someone was knocking on the wall, which right on the other side of this wall is a closet. So someone knocked on the inside of the closet wall, is what it sounded like. So I was just like, is there someone in my house? Could be a ghost. My house is really old, guys. That's how powerful your voice is. It knocks on my wall. Oh my god, I'm just here for the thing. I'm just here for the thing. Leave me alone. There's way too many of them. What? I'm invisible. How the hell did you target me? But yeah, my house is like almost 80 years old now. Is that right? Yeah, I think it is almost 80 years old.
I had a feeling you would answer the call. Let's head out.
So, you know, it's an old house. I'm sure a lot of people have died in it. There's a lot of spirits and stuff. But they like me. A lot of people don't get along with the spirits in my house, but I get along with them. They like me. They don't like other people, though. And then there was also, like, look at this detail, for example, right? Which one of you guys in chat can tell me about these heads? Tell me about these heads. I want to know. They're not just there for decoration. There's a reason they're there. They look creepy, right? You kind of think like, oh, the land is like calling out in pain or something, right? I want someone to know. I want to know if someone knows the reason, or not the reason, but like that knows about these heads, because there's a specific detail about these heads, and I will talk about those in my comparison video. So that gives you a little hint of what I'm getting to. You're a ghost after all. Well, that's true. Spectrius the ghost has invaded your house. A wild Spectrius appeared, or whatever. Alright, since no one knows about this, there's no way that anyone would know in chat. There's no way. Have you ever wondered about those? At least. Have you ever looked at them like, I wonder, why are these here? Okay. I gotta look something up real quick because I wanna be precise on this, okay? Wait, what? Oh, no, it's Guild Wars 2. I want to go to Guild Wars 1. I typed in Guild Wars 2, that's my own fault. Okay, there we go. Man, I Have the North was such a good expansion. For Guild Wars 1. It was a really good expansion. It added so much cool stuff, guys. Oh my god, okay. Can't find... And for anyone that hasn't played Guild Wars 1, I can highly recommend it. That's it. Okay, hold on. I finally found it. That's it. Is that it? No, it's not. What is the area outside of that called? Arbor Bay. Is it Arbor Bay? No. It's the area next to Arbor Bay. Riven Earth. Riven Earth. And post a link. Of course I use Google. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't use Google? I'm gonna post a link. Hold on, let me get into Twitch chat. I'm gonna post a link. I'm gonna post a link of what those heads look like. This is what those heads look like in Guild Wars 1. And they've just been there. But it's so cool. It's such a cool detail, right? If you look at those, that is the same heads, because when you look at the location as well, this is where the location is. As far as I understand it, that's where the location is. That's on the map. This actually was like a river that flowed through here or something. Was it this area or was it somewhere else? Oh no, it might have been over here. Or over here. I'm not sure. But they're supposed to represent exactly those. They're supposed to be that. It's super effective. There's also, if you guys haven't looked, there's a really cool tool. You know, there's that shaman. He does all the okay, so maybe they're not supposed to be exactly those, but I think that's what they're supposed to represent. But there's a really cool tool that I'll post as well for you guys that that shaman made. For those of you that are interested in like the locations of Guild Wars 2 compared to Guild Wars 1, it's really, really cool, that tool. When you go on that, it literally compares the maps from Guild Wars 1. It'll have the layout of the maps of Guild Wars 1 over the map of Guild Wars 2, and it'll tell you exactly where like all the maps go and stuff. That's really cool. So I don't know, just pointing that out. But yeah, you know, and it goes back to the original discussion point. Let's kind of get back into that. But, you know, there's the whole idea of, like, people using mounds, right? And it's like, I enjoyed my first time through the world without mounds because I got to see the world. I got to explore the world. I got to see all the good things. I got to see all the fun stuff, right? And I feel like people that don't take their time to do that, it's just they're missing out. And it's not a good thing. I don't think it's healthy for the game because they put so much emphasis on things like those heads, you know, and the water on the ground and the shimmering mosaics and those types of things, that it's like, okay, well, I have a raptor, I can just jump through everything and just not pay attention to any of it, right? And that sucks. It sucks. That's not a good thing. So I'm wholly against telling new people to get a mount. Don't get a mount. Use swiftness. You'll be just fine. You know, there's a fucking waypoint every 3 seconds, okay? Like, you'll be okay with not rushing through the fucking game. Because those same people, not all of them, some of them, those same people will complain a month later, oh, I played through all the story and I played through all the maps. What am I supposed to do now? I don't know anything about anything. Like, I've done map completions, like, I'm done. I don't know what else to do. And it's like, okay, well, it's because you didn't take your time and enjoyed yourself. Like, you know, you didn't get immersed in the game. And you can't do that with mounts in the core maps. You just can't. Are you fucking kidding me right now? And they don't know how to play, exactly. Because, you know, with mounts, you get to... Oh, let me go, please let... Oh my god, they keep on... I'm gonna attack this guy, though. They keep on just running by enemies. You know what I mean? They keep on running by all these enemies, not learning anything about anything. And it's just hurtful to the game. You know, it's just... That's why I'm like... You know, when people are like, get a mount. Like, every post I see online about new player help is always like, yeah, first thing you want to do is jump in, do the first mission of Path of Fire if you have the expansion, and get your mount. And then you can go. And it's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Just play through the game regularly. It's like, that's all I can really... I mean, I can only implore people to do that. I can't tell people what to do, obviously. I mean, I can, but that's probably not going to get very far. Which is totally fine, because I'm not in the business to tell people what to do. But, you know, if someone asks my opinion, you know, what's the best way to enjoy Guild Wars? Well, if you're playing the base game, the best way to enjoy that is to just take your time. Go through, learn your class, equip different weapons, equip different skills, traits... Go through all of it. Try it all out, right? It's like, it'll like, you'll have a good time. But I want to play endgame. Well, you won't be good at endgame if you don't do those steps. Like Emily said, you won't know how to play the game. So it's like, what's the point of rushing to endgame if you know nothing about endgame? You know, getting to 80 and then getting to the point where you have a build or something, you look up a build on Snow Crows and you do everything exactly the same way, and you know, you have friends that carry you through like a couple of fractals to get some good equipment or something, whatever, right? And you know nothing about mechanics, and you know nothing about anything, you know. You know nothing about boons, you know nothing about equipment, you know nothing about runes, sigils, whatever. You know nothing about your traits, nothing about your weapons, and you're just like, raids are hard. Well, raids are hard, but they're going to be a lot easier, you know, if you didn't do that shit. Okay, I'm almost dead here. I'm just trying to get this cough drop in my mouth. But anyways, I'm not trying to, like, turn anyone away from the game or make anyone feel like they're not doing it right. You can play the game however you want to. If you're enjoying running through the game, you can do that. And you're entitled to do that because you paid money and you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Okay? My suggestion is don't do that. So take that take that for what you will. Like, even after all these many years, you know, I still enjoy, like, going through. Look at those, like, weird flies that appear. They look so strange. They're, like, flying upside down and stuff. There's a jungle troll champion. I'm not gonna fight him because he has like 4 other jungle trolls with him in there, and it's gonna be murder if I do that. And so I want to talk about June 28th again, because it seems to me that a lot of people still haven't really, okay, let's just talk about it. The blog post, okay? And I want people to, like, people that see this that maybe don't agree with what I'm saying, or maybe have no idea what's going on. I want you guys to go back, and it's something that I pointed out in the video where like reviewed that blog post. It was like an hour-long video. I don't expect anyone to watch that, but I mean, I would love for people to watch a video, but you don't have to. But in that video, in that blog post, specifically under profession updates, in the second paragraph, it's like the second sentence, I want to say, but in that sentence, they talk about how they want to do quarterly profession updates. So first of all, they want to do 4 of those a year. Okay. So that's a lot. That's a lot more than they've ever done. And I will point out that it's a lot more than they've ever done because of how they worded it. Now, if they're gonna, I don't know if I'm reading into the wording or if it's just me like reading too much into something, or if they didn't really mean it, if it was like a miscommunication or something. But I will point out that in that sentence, it states that for each profession update, which there's 4 of them that they want to do every year now, okay? They want to look at either underused weapons, underused traits, or underused utility skills, or underpowered, you know, underused or underpowered, any of those 3, for each profession in each profession update. Which means that it's not going to be like a lot of times when they do those profession updates, like I've kind of thought about that, and like why I'm so fascinated by that is when they do those profession updates, when they look at certain weapons or something, right? For example, when they do like I think, you know, and I'm not 100% certain, but you know, when they did like the Guardian Staff, I don't remember there being other weapons that they did, or other utility things or whatever for other classes. But they're saying they're doing for all 9 classes something. One of those 3 things, they're gonna, like, categories, they're gonna look at and change them for every profession update. That means 4 times a year, we're gonna get for each profession an update on either an underused weapon, underused, underpowered weapon, traits, trade lines, or utility skills. Well, and that's exactly it, which means that we will see changes if I'm reading into this correctly, right? I don't know if I'm reading into it correctly, if I'm taking this. No, you know what? I gotta go with vitality. Vitality on this, I can't even use this because the vitality is just much more important. So wasted my karma on that. Oh well, whatever. I gotta get this. That's gonna be really tough, isn't it? But yeah, so, and you're right, there's so many things, there's so many like healing skills that are like, no, this is the definite, or like these are the 2 definitive healing skills for that profession because they're just better than all the other ones. Well, and the same goes with utility skills. There's so many underused, like consecration, for example, on Guardian, I feel like don't get used very often. I love the idea of consecration, but I feel like they don't get used that often. You know, it's usually like meditations, because the meditation line in the trade lines and stuff is like really good. Like it has like a good synergy with like a lot of builds and stuff. Like, but to me, it is so crazy that they're looking for each profession, and each profession update, they want to look at, like, let's say weapons. That would mean that we would get 9 weapon sets redone every quarter. Like, I'm not saying they're specifically, you know, obviously they could be like, you know, we're not changing anything of the Guardian this time around, but we're changing the consecration utility skills, and we're changing how they interact, right? But I'm just thinking it's so crazy that they want to do it for all, because if you guys remember in profession updates in the past that they have done, it's always like there's like 1 or 2 front runners that have like the big changes going on, and then there's like 4 or 5 of them that have like a little bit going on where they like don't do super significant changes, and then they have like the last few that get like barely anything, where it's just like they just get like some like we changed the tooltip to better reflect what the skill does, you know, that type of stuff, right? And it's like now they're looking to do the first category for all 9. Wow, this is impossible. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm good. All right, I'm gonna come back for that later. I don't know if I'm able to do that at this point, because that's really tough, that part right there. I might need better equipment. I haven't gotten good equipment at all, guys. 14, 17, 20, 15, 14. Weapons? Look at this. I'm still using the original mace. Fuck. Oh, someone did it. Someone finished it. That's not cheating. That's luck. That's all that is. I got lucky. But yeah, and I don't know if Arena can do it. I feel like they've never been able to do such significant changes. So I'm like, am I misunderstanding that? Because they've never done big changes like that for a lot of classes all of a sudden. Like, they've never had a huge balance team. Okay, balance in Guild Wars 2 has always been a lackluster. It's always been lagging behind. And now, all of a sudden, they're just like, no, we're going to do, like, changes to every profession in every 4 months. That's a lot of changes. Like, if you go through and you look at the, like, profession updates, specifically the ones where they redo weapons or redo utility skills or trade lines for, like, each profession, you get maybe 1 a year for each profession. You know what I mean? Like, at best, I feel like. But now they're trying to do that 4 times. That's 4 times as many times as we've had. That's a lot of changes. And that's good. That's good, because they might have hired more staff. You're correct. I mean, End of Dragons outdid both the other expansions. So obviously they had an increase of money recently, you know, so maybe they're trying to carry that, and they've had a change of direction and leadership and management, so maybe they're looking at, you know, moving around their staff a little bit or whatever. That floating slave over here is just really funny. But you know, it's just, to me, it's really crazy, and this is something that I've talked about so much, because to me, one thing that really stands out in Guild Wars is the combat, right? The combat is very unique for this MMO, for an MMO, for the MMO genre. And you know, it's a mix between like tap targeting and action camera and that sort of stuff, right? And this play style is so unique, and I feel like the classes are very unique in the way that they work, with the way that the elite specialization was implemented. You know, most MMORPGs kind of, like I said, I'm working on a dual class video, but most other MMOs will lean on like a dual classing thing, where they're like, oh, you can take your class and then another class, and that kind of switches up what they can do, right? A lot of them do that. Or they have like advanced classes where it's like, oh, you know, you're an elementalist, and then now you can get into like, oh, you want to be a pyromancer, you know, that's your next, like, you can specify in that, right? But then it's like they don't change the core mechanics. Like, it's so crazy with how I think it's genius with the way that ArenaNet has implemented this like furthering of a profession kind of thing. The system for that they have. So it's like really awesome, but it's always been lackluster because they do this awesome system, but then they don't like go back, like Herald, for example. Like Herald really needs to be updated because boons are so readily available, and all of the boons are so readily available. Like if I'm a guardian, if I'm specifically a Firebrand guardian, I have access to almost every single boon at my fingertips at any moment, really quickly. Boom, I can just knock it out, and it's usually for like 5 people around me that I can do that, right? So it's just like, and on top of doing like hundreds of thousands of points of damage. I don't know what happened. My Streamlabs like restarted itself or something. Let me know if I'm not here anymore, or let me know that if you guys are still there or whatever. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, but yeah, so Herald has just like been lagging behind because the profession updates are so far and few between, and the ones that they have made have been very like, and I always make that joke, and I hate making that joke, but it's true. You know, they do like, oh, we've changed the power coefficient from 0.5 to 0.75. That'll change the whole thing. Like, it doesn't do shit over that, okay? You're gonna have to like change what the skills do, because you're changing the way the enemies work, you're changing the way that the boons work in the game. You know, you introduce new elite specializations that can outdo like the old ones very easily, but then you don't update the old ones, right? And it's just like, you have to do that. You have to balance all of those. And I know we're talking about getting to 36 elite specializations. That's a lot of updating that they're planning on doing. Okay, right now we're at 27. I feel like right now it's still manageable, but you're gonna have to get into a rhythm of constantly doing these updates. You can't hear me anymore? What the fuck? Are you serious? You can't hear me? Hold on. Hold on. Stupid shit.